So Third Thursday Luncheon has just done a wonderful job reaching out to the community, people from all walks of life. For some folks, it is just another meal, but for others, it is a meal that they just don't always get. It's healthy, it's nutritious, it's very good food. So it's a great experience, and I hope you can at least try it. You'll like it.
Okay, I'm here today with Amanda Stauffer, and she is the head of the Thursday luncheon meals here at St. Mark's Church. Amanda, how did this start in the beginning? Do you remember? It's been, what, a year and a half?
I think it's been longer. Didn't we start? I don't know.
It's been 2 years?
At least.
Okay.
But that, neither here nor there. Actually, it's a funny story. My husband cleaned out his closet, and he goes, I guess I'm just going to make Goodwill richer, because he was going to donate to Goodwill. And I said, what are you talking about? And anyways, that's what started it all, because in my mind, there had to be a need that we could get these clothes to somebody that would actually need them,
Right.
where we weren't making money off just passing it on. And then, I don't know if God put it on my heart, if I just felt it. Regardless, it seemed like we just needed a meal where people could come together once a month, where they knew everybody was welcome. It doesn't matter how much money you have, don't have, how old, how young. And knock on wood, it's worked.
Okay. So has the program progressed as you hoped?
I would love to say as time has gone, we have definitely grown. We have worked out a ton of kinks, and we need to thank a lot of that to Helen, because she came in, she has helped us so much. We are so fortunate to have her. She honestly usually takes care of the clothes for us. She sorts them out. She usually sets out most of them. Sometimes Macy will help, and then Helen does our meats and stuff too, but she has been instrumental in, we just found ways to streamline things, that they work now, so we aren't running around like chickens with our heads chopped off.
Right.
Which was definitely at the beginning.
Good. Okay. I mean, how many people do you think you're feeding a month?
So on average, we prepare for 120, because that's the max number we've hit, and we usually run right around that 100 mark. So we just never want to have to tell somebody no. We have had a few times, but and starting now, we're going to, like this month, we're actually donating any leftovers to the fire department here in town.
Oh, good idea.
So Helen was going to reach out to the sheriff's department and everything and see if we could give them another month. So anything left over is still getting used, still going back into the community. Pastor and Helen will also pass out meals to the shut-ins. They'll deliver some of those.
So talk about the takeout meals. How does that work?
Okay, so takeouts, we do not start those until 12, simply because that was chaos. That's something we've learned as we've gone. We cannot do takeouts as we go, so they'll start at noon. We do usually prepare them beforehand.
Okay.
So they're ready, they'll let us know how many they know, and we'll bring them out to you at noon, or people will come at noon and let us know.
Right.
So, I mean, those are just one of the things that we've worked out. They're pretty easy. They just let us know, and usually we've got them made, but if not, by noon, most of our eat-ins have come and sat down, so we have the time to make theirs and give them the attention they need.
So if you come in and eat in person, can you take a meal home with you, or how are you handling that?
Yes, actually, we have a lot of people do. Some of them is just because they don't have a lot at home, so they will take home one for their supper. We have one guy that will come and tell us every night, can I have one for supper tonight? That's all he asks for. We have several people that honestly deliver too. Like Miss Peg Blackmore, she delivers to 2 or 3 people also. So she'll take some even though she eats in. As far as funding, my goal is roughly $500 a meal. I know we don't always hit that. That is what I try to stay around. That is, but as for what we need, what could help the most, in my opinion, and I did talk to Helen this morning, but is that if we had anybody, they'd have to get a hold of me, Helen, but if anybody was available Wednesday evenings, it could be even while youth is upstairs, we could come down here and we could prep the night before, so that I'm not making 10 pans of spaghetti, at my house and then transporting it here and spilling we could prep it here and we don't have to transport it. We could set out the clothes the night before.
Oh, right.
Just anything to get it so that it, just a little bit smoother.
Okay, and do you have foods or meats or things like that donated to you to use, or?
We actually do. Eckridge, which again comes from Helen there at Save a Lot. He has donated a lot to us. He usually donates turkey. He donates ham multiple times. He has donated, oh my gosh, summer sausage or smoked sausage. That's the one. He's done hot dogs. He donates a ton.
Well, that's got to help with with your budget. Yeah.
And then usually most months, not all of them, but a good portion of our desserts are usually donated too. Because usually Helen will make some, Mom will bring some in. So we do have a lot of people helping out as much as they can and where they step in. So I feel like we're pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Helen, we'll get Helen too. She'd be good.
What kind of things are you seeing from the people that are coming here?
Well, I see a lot of them because where I work, where I see a lot of the public, I see a lot of the people that come here, and they will stop and tell me, "Hey, thanks for everything," and that. But I also can kind of see their needs. So when we plan the meals and things like that, the outreach with the clothing, and stuff,
Right.
and I always try to keep in touch with. I've been trying to reach out more to some of the other organizations to make sure that they know what we're doing so they can tell
Perfect.
the people that go there for help. Hey, stop at St. Mark's, they have the clothing and stuff. So I think, just being with what I do in my everyday life, since like I said, I'm out with the public.
Right.
I've seen it touch a lot of lives.
Yeah, when you work too, yeah, you see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you think the clothing has gone over? Because you're kind of in charge of that, sitting.
Yeah, I kind of like took that over. I kind of organized. I hate messy closets.
Then you're perfect. Yes.
One young couple,
Yeah. Give me a story.
lost.
Yeah.
They came from south. They lost everything in a tornado. Came up here
my.
because they had relatives here. He had
Okay.
a job. They had nothing, and his wife and his little daughter were here. And touching part for me was the little girl was, "Mommy, what size shoes does Daddy wear?" And she told him, and will they fit? And they were the exact size. And
Is
she's
that
like,
right?
"How did you find those?" Like I said, it's the little things, and
Right.
and there's other stories we could tell you too, how people find what they need. And I've had one gentleman not too long ago say, "Unfortunately, I have to go to court, but I don't have a pair of socks." Well, he left with socks and a pair of jeans. I'm sorry he had to go to court,
Right.
but he knew he could count on us maybe to get him there.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we see a whole segment of society that a lot of us
No.
have no idea is even
no,
out there.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's available to us.
Right. Right.
But not everyone can afford everything.
No. So are you finding that people are bringing friends or people telling people and
Oh yeah, I do.
word's getting out?
I see, maybe one person one time, and then they're there with someone else, and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, good. Amanda was telling me that your Eckridge man donates meat
He,
now and then.
he is a sweetheart. Yeah,
that
we,
is
we have, he lives, that would be the Eckridge out of Findlay, Ohio. He comes through and he delivers to the store. He's, and sometimes I don't even have to ask. He'll say, "Hey, I have a little extra of this. Can you use this at church?" And it's like, absolutely. We can find something, and that. So, yes.
And she told me too that now if you have leftovers, you're going to give them to the local first responders or.
That's our plan for today, yeah. And we've the pastor and I for quite some time has some of our shut-ins, and that with the church,
Right.
he would take turns. He'd take some to some people, and I took some to some people. So we call the shut-ins and that to see if they could use a meal, and that way, of course, we get to talk to them and visit
Right.
for a while. So
Right.
yes.
Okay. So I didn't think to ask Amanda. I know you start setting up the day before, if not sooner, as
yeah.
far as the tables and everything. Anything you want to say about help you could use as far as boots on the ground type help?
Oh, we can always use more help if someone. I would, Amanda and I are trying to figure out what is the best way. Some people, work during the day.
Right.
So, yeah, if Wednesday night, if someone has an idea or question, we're pretty flexible, Amanda and I are, that we'd be willing to, work around, if somebody wants to donate some time,
You're
that's,
here.
yep.
Okay.
We're, like I said, we're not, strict about anything like that. We go, with what people can give us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The group, we have all kind of kids' clothing. You got coats back there. Okay, what's your favorite part?
Seeing these people, they come in and they have like a food, we at least know they have a meal and like get clothes and stuff.
It's a great experience, and I hope you can at least try it. You'll like it.